Okay. We are live. Good morning, everybody. We're starting a little bit early today. We are picking back up where we left off with our needle felted magnet that we were working on last week. We're following along with Bob Ross painting tutorials from the Joy of Painting. We're currently working on season 31, and this is being inspired by episode 9. That he called Evergreen Valley. Ours looks a bit different, and that's okay, because we're just kind of using his as inspiration, and I can never get them to look exactly the same, and they shouldn't look exactly the same, because we are putting our own spin on it. Now, usually needle felting involves using roving. I am using acrylic yarn though. It fits my budget quite a bit better, so that's what we're doing. Acrylic yarn does require a little bit more prep though, because it comes in its little skeins and balls that you buy off the shelf at the store, and then you have to get a slicker brush, one of those, I can't remember exactly. It's the dog grooming brushes. I recommend the metal teeth, not the plastic ones, because the plastic ones will snap. They have like the little elbow metal spikies on them, and you cut some lengths of your yarn, and then you brush them out and you get the fluff. You're basically unplying the yarn. So we're gonna see if we can get this one wrapped up today. I don't know if we will. We will see. Depends on how sensory overloaded I get today. So last week I realized that we needed to add a little bit more blue to our, just forgot to put our finger protectors on, to our sky. Just a little bit of water there in case we need it to help shape our fluff. Okay, so it's hard to tell because we are zoomed in here, but this is approximately 3 inches by 3 inches. When we are all done, it'll be 3 by 3, roughly. Like maybe a little scant fraction over, potentially, but pretty much right on there. I have the link in the chat and pinned in the chat for anyone that may want to go and view the tutorial in full on the Bob Ross YouTube channel. That link is there. I have it in the bottom corner, but we have it in pause a lot, and I also have it muted because we don't need it with the sound on for what we're doing. I am working on getting the eBay store up and running. It's not up yet, and at the moment I'm only going to be able to ship within the United States, so I do apologize for that. But shipping is real expensive right now, and I don't know how all that's gonna work with tariffs and all that junk, so we're just gonna stay within the US for right now. So it might not matter that I'm adding this piece on the top, but it's gonna make me feel a little bit better, just to make sure we've got enough room, because it felt like we shrunk a little bit height-wise. and like widened out a little bit. It happens sometimes, especially when you're using the thinner craft felt, at least for me. Um, Now it might not do that as much if I was using the thicker craft felt. I had one piece that we did an 8x10 on that we used the thicker felt, and it didn't really get weird and wonky on the edges at all. But that being said, with how I'm making the frames on these guys, because we are going to make a little frame around him. Frame is being handcrafted, so there are imperfections and rough edges and a little bit of wonkiness. I do my best, but you know, it happens. I'd actually prefer a little bit of a thicker craft stick, but the thicker craft sticks, I have a much harder time getting cut right. So I can't cut the thicker guys with my scissors, and that just creates all kinds of injury potential, and I'm an injury queen, so we're just not gonna go there. Don't do that when I have sharp objects. All right, y'all. I need a minute. I didn't stab myself, but I need a minute. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I needed a minute. Hands are still a little shaky. Scared the shit out of me. I had to go yell at her. That's not what you do. And she's like, oh, goodbye. I'm like, no! You don't do that to somebody. Not when they have a sharp object in their hand. Jesus Christ. Don't do that to people. My God. Right. So we are picking back up where we left off. I added that little bit of blue. Not even sure if I finished stabbing it at this point. So rattled now. So last week when we stopped, we didn't quite finish getting our base color in place here on our ground. And I kind of wanted to do that here. So that way we can use it as potential shadow lines and whatnot as we put in our grassy bits. As we put in our rolling hills and stuff. I haven't added the link to the eBay store yet because I don't have everything posted yet. I hope to finish getting everything posted by this weekend. We'll see. Last night took way more brain power than it should have to get the few things posted that I did. But it takes a little bit for me to get measurements and weights and all that nonsense. So the magnets are selling for 15 a piece. And after looking at the prices of other people, I'm wondering if I'm undercharging, but at the same time, I mean, I can only 15 seems a little high to me. But I don't really want to go any lower than that. Okay, so we've got the base ground finished. I topped off that blue section. Alright, now so now we need to put in our spiky trees. So I need to find my hunter green. I need to finish filling yarn bags. Because the amount of fluff that some of these bags need, I'm wondering if I can reduce the yarn storage down to 1 container now. Because I do need a fair bit here. Alright, so I'm just gonna get a little bit of fluff here. So right now I have 2 large storage totes for yarn. But The second storage container is barely a third full. Okay, that is much too thick. I might have to pull that piece off. It's like I don't want this super thick, but I don't really want it super thin either. We have to find a balance. Alright, so I'm going to turn this guy sideways, and we're just gonna, oh, that would be better here. Maybe, no, it should be closer to me to start with, I think. Alright, so we're gonna work on popping these guys into place. And I'm gonna work on them sideways, just so I can see a little bit easier. Now, he doesn't really highlight these guys in the back, so I almost really wonder if I should be using like a dark navy blue, but that might be too much. He just kind of went with a mixture of like dark colors. So I guess Stabber's choice, really, is what that's gonna come down to. I do apologize for my outburst earlier, but I was rather startled. Something I was not expecting, especially when I was in the middle of stabbing something. Alright. Maybe next time I attempt this one, we'll do, a navy tree. I actually enjoyed that painting we did yesterday so much. I might do a needle felted version of it. That might actually be kind of fun. Here, could pop that up. Okay. This guy. That gap between those two trees was a little big. Of course, now this one's gonna kind of eat the other tree a little bit. Feast or famine, what can I say? Oh, itchy. Alright. So just want to make sure that we are attached in here. Yeah, like my trees just don't feel dark enough, but I'm going with this hunter green. I'd rather would have had like a green black, or probably should have went with that navy. I'm not gonna change it now. We're just gonna roll with it. But yeah, if I had the ability to do that again, probably would go with that. Sometimes, you know, I don't really think about using a color that's not a tree color in my brain. And I think I should. Start exploring other color options. All right. So, just gonna work on getting the rest of our spiky trees worked in here. Okay. Now I'm so upset, I'm starting to itch. Good grief. Alright. So we're just gonna keep putting our spiky trees in. Now that gap was a little bit bigger than I thought it would end up being. Well, that's gonna happen sometimes. So I kind of flipped that tail up there. Now he's got a couple of spots. Well, he's got a spot, but it's more like over here where he's got like a gappy. But that's alright. We're just gonna roll with it. Now mine's not gonna look exactly like his. It shouldn't look exactly like his, because we're all gonna see stuff differently. And in the end, we're all gonna put our own spin on things. So we are just gonna work on getting these worked in here. I'm gonna try to variate the height, so that way we don't have a wall of just one solid color. And we have some gaps here and there. I'm just trimming off that tail there. I also don't want a huge gap in there. Just rolling a little bit of a fluffy snake here. Oh, that was a bigger gap over here too than I necessarily wanted. Sometimes I don't see the gaps right away. I wonder if I could mix the navy and the dark green. I mean, I could. Maybe, but I'm not going to now. I think I was going to do that. I probably would have needed to do the navy first, I think. So that they were sitting back a little bit further. So how's everybody doing today? You guys all right? I think I really had the chance to ask. I kind of dove in so we could make up some ground, because I knew today was going to be a little bit fussy. It's because we've got a lot of intricate things to do here with these trees. And you know, it's just going to be a little bit of fussing as you figure out where you want your tree placement to be. A little hard to see them because of the dark colors all laying on top of each other, at least on the camera. I think once we get the excess white trimmed off, there won't be so much of a glare. Be a little bit easier to make out our trees here. All right. And we're just going to continue this all the way across. I probably could have gotten some more yarn in a couple of the bags that I did top off, but I was also trying to get more yarn bags filled than what I did. I forgot it takes a minute, hot minute sometimes to do that. All right. Then I was so upset I like dropped the needle on the desk and it rolled off the back of it, and then I thought the needle snapped, so then I had to search for the needle in the handle. It didn't snap, thank goodness. But we've had them snap before. And finding those little guys can be quite the endeavor. I'm okay with a little bit of the purple near the bottom. I just didn't want it to be like major gap amounts there. Alright, let's pop that guy up. It'll get a little bit brighter once we start getting our grass in too. And again, just trying to change our heights a little bit. Doesn't have to be like comically drastic in height change. Whoop. That's why I hold the tails, because you never know how much fluff the needles are going to decide to grab. They usually grab more than you really want them to. Like, I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm not like squishing it down. My hand's just resting on it. And that's usually enough just to keep it from getting a little too grabby hands. Now I'm probably going to come back with a little bit of green here to run across the bottom here, just to kind of even that up just a little bit. Well, I guess it doesn't really need to be evened up, but we'll see. Just a drop of water off the end of the finger there. Making a little fluffy snake here. You know, like the clay snakes that you used to make when you were younger. Or maybe still do if you do polymer clay. I do a bit of gap there. Let's see if I can take that up. His trees are packed a bit tighter. Mine kind of look like dark cucumbers. But, I mean, you get the idea. It's kind of hard to get any real definition across working this small for me. Because we are pretty small here. We are 3 inches by 3 inches. So, like, this is a standard size clothespin. It's about the size of a standard size clothespin. Or if a bottle of craft paint is more your visual reference, we're about the size of the bottle part, not the lid. So, it's not the easiest size to work at. Especially with this stuff. This stuff tends to have a mind of its own most of the time. You can try to talk it into doing what you want it to do, but in the end, it's gonna do what it wants to do. At least as far as I am concerned. Maybe I haven't quite mastered the fiber whispering techniques, but sometimes we can communicate enough to at least get the point across. All right. So, well, actually, let's go a little bit taller on this guy. Been a minute since we did a tall boy. So just kind of bunched a little bit extra fluff up there just to try to fill that gap in. Actually, we'll just take all of it then. That's fine, I guess. Sorry, I just noticed the back of my hand looks all broke out. And I don't know why. Maybe from nerves. Not even noon and my nerves are already shot for the day. Oh, all right. So we'll get there. So I'm gonna take that over a little bit just to try to fill that gap a little. He had a bona fide gap in there. I'm not gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna let it be. Alright, you don't have to do the brushing on the back. I do recommend if you have a fabric mat though, whether that be felt, wool, whatever, I do recommend you pop this up. They don't, a lot of people don't say that. But I do recommend that you do so. Maybe rotate your mat every so often, position your piece in a different spot every so often, just so you get a little bit more even wear on your mat. My last mat of this type I got about a year of use out of. I still have it. It's gotten quite lumpy on the top. So I just kind of use it for critter creation at this point on the rare occasions that we do critters. I usually only do critters for Christmas because they take me forever. This coming Christmas, we're gonna make him a banana slug. Him being the husband, or at least that's what we're gonna try to. I don't know what I'm doing for everybody else. I mean, you can only make the same thing so many times. Where it's like, okay, can we make something else now? But my mom really is obsessed with chickens. Chickens, roosters. I don't know what else to make her. I mean, I could try to make her a fuzzy chicken, but I don't know if I want to do that. So that's gonna take a long time. I might just paint something. Since I've already made her 2 different chickens. Maybe we'll paint something small. And we'll be on the lookout for other stuff that we can grab for her. Okay. Alright, so I think our tree line's pretty good there. Now I'm gonna shave down the back of this just so it's not quite so thick when we're done putting in all of our color. Okay, so now we need to do our grassy bits in here. Gosh, I don't know. I guess we'll grab our forest green. We'll start with that. I'm glad that we picked up this color. This quickly became a staple color for us, but I can't replace this exact color. So I'm hoping when I run out, I can find something comparable. Alright, so we're going to start with some straight forest green. Alright. So this guy... Oh, he kinda sits up here. Need to overlap that a little bit. Just so I don't have too much weirdness going on up there between where the 2 meet. We've got a little bit of that there. Just gonna secure the little loose bits from where we trimmed. So that way they don't cause us any trouble later. Alright, and then this guy also kind of fills in here. I'm just kind of scraping some of that fiber backwards just a little bit. Kind of have like an alligator shaped mouth here in this spot. Kind of, not exactly. Again, we all see stuff differently, right? I don't have to have the edge like super precise, because when we build our frame, we're gonna lose a tiny little bit of that. I am gonna grab a secondary color though. I'm gonna grab our varsity green. Probably grab grass green, but we're gonna go with varsity. It's a little bit darker. All right, so this is a big twist value color, but big twist value isn't going to be able to be obtained anymore because it's a Joann's house label. So we're going to have to find an alternative color, just like with the grass green there. Might have to add a little bit more of our grass green, our forest green, excuse me. Just to kind of fill in the gaps in there. All right. Fill that in. All right, so I'm gonna grab some more of this this green, our first green here. Okay. So fill that in. Don't know how it's really gonna look when we're done with me putting in these two different colors. We'll see. We might regret choices. We might not. A lot of the time, I'm really bad at trusting the process. Like, I start to get super nervous because I'm like, did I make a mistake? I feel like I made a mistake. Okay, so fill this guy in here. Now, instead of it looking like little shadowy dips in the grass, it might look like hedge lines, because that's kind of what I'm seeing. Like random shrubs just kind of extending out. But you know what? I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna kind of just extend that over a little bit further. All right. So we're just gonna kind of do this for a little bit. Just trying to fill that gap there. I think I'm like way past my pen line filling in this gap. So a lot of this might just end up getting trimmed off that I just put in. But I also want to make sure that I've got it filled in so we don't have any weird gaps trying to emerge. Because that would be more troublesome to deal with after the fact. Brush that down. Okay, now we do have some thin spots on this set of green that we just put in. Like, you can see it in person a little bit better than you can on the camera, I think. Where I have a little bit of the gray kind of poking through. Kind of, sorta. I'm gonna have to figure out, I think I need to bring this down a little bit more to here. Just to kind of make sure that we're a little bit more even. I'm working in a little bit smaller chunks, just so I don't go too far. Okay. So, this guy, get that tucked into there. I'm using a small gauge needle, don't know the actual number on it, it just said small on my toolkit. I'm sorry. I got my toolkit off of the Amazon. It was just one of those ones where it comes with 3 different sized needles, and some like animal eyes, and came with these. Came with this handle and a multi-needle handle. I'm not really a fan of the multi-needle handle though. Not really. Something about it, I just don't really like it. Okay. Just making sure I wasn't gonna have too much of a weird coloration there, and I don't. Alright, so this guy, I'm gonna kinda, sorta fill in up here. Kinda sorta on the edge. Alright, so we'll get that kinda popped into there. Okay, I think I'm gonna take another bit of this, maybe a little bit thinner, and kind of work it this way. Not exactly what Bob did, but that's okay. Like I said before, this doesn't need to look exactly like Bob. It shouldn't look exactly like Bob. And for anybody that really wants to see the tutorial in full, without it being frozen for the majority of the time that we are in here, I do have it pinned in the chat. Now, I was going to try to link the video of these being made to the eBay listing. However, eBay is like, no, you can't do that. So they think I'm like selling it somewhere else. I'm like, no, I'm not selling it. And I don't have a short clip of it being made. I am so behind on editing. And my brain was deeply overwhelmed at that point in the night, and I'm just like, no. That's fine. If I ever eventually get around to making the short video, then, you know, that'll be one thing. Okay. I swear I'm hearing like heavy trucks running outside, which doesn't really make any sense. But we also have a heavy-duty floor fan on, because it tends to get kind of warm in here. So I'm not sure if that's just vibrating funny, or if I'm actually hearing heavy trucks running. There were some bucket trucks doing some work at the car wash down the street from us when we got back from taking the dogs to the borking place. He saw the one dog he likes to bork at. And that dog kind of whined back at him. I don't know if they want to be friends or not. But he can be a little bit of a spitfire at times and a sassy brat. So we're just like, no, that's okay. You're gonna leave that guy alone and let them do their thing. Oh, okay. Gonna get another bit of this color. A little bit of water, just like a drop off the tip of my finger. I don't need much here. I just need enough to get a little bit of friction so we can try to shape this guy. All right. Work on getting this guy. Kind of looks more like we're doing hedgerows or farmland or something. That's okay. It can be whatever we want it to be. Maybe it is a mountainside farm. Maybe it's a vineyard. What am I even listening to? You guys can't hear it. A lot of the we haven't had caffeine yet. A lot of the like the royalty free music that you can kind of get away with playing in the background of streams hurt my ears. Like something about the tone that they're done in or the key they're done in, or it just gets a bit much for my ears at times, and then I'm like, nope, can't do it. All right. Okay. So now, oh, this bit's quite a mess. That section, that bit of fluff didn't get brushed out so well. All right. So this guy, we are gonna fill in here. And okay, am I losing my mind? Am I hearing heavy trucks running? Or is that the fan?
Could be either.
There's just this weird hum that feels like it wasn't there before. And it's slowly becoming extremely maddening. And this is gonna sound strange, but I swear I feel it more than I hear it. So this section, need a drink. Hang on, we have to take a stretch break. Let's see. Maybe I've just lost my mind today. Okay. Gotta get up and move every so often. Don't want to get all locked up from sitting in one spot too long. Do I need to mute?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Alright, so this guy, we're gonna introduce one more color into this. Because he added a little bit of ochre, it seemed like. You okay?
Huh?
What was that?
Just me setting the fan up.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you can set that up how you want it now, and I'll leave you alone. I won't keep stealing it back at night. I had a clip fan on a shelf above our bed. So that the fan would hit me in the face when I sleep. And it died. Coming into winter. And I was like, oh no. And we went to Walmart to try to replace it. And that day, they had swapped out all of the fans for space heaters. And I was like, no! I need my fan! And the fan that we did get, well, it works better when you're closer to it, I think. The distance from his desk to my face was kind of far. And it just wasn't really doing much for me. We could have tried to order one from Amazon, but we just kind of made do with that one, and the clip fans came back out. And he found one when he had to run to Walmart yesterday. I was so excited. I was like, oh, I get my clip fan back. I think I might have to adjust it ever so slightly, but for the most part, it's kind of in the right spot. But that's okay. I missed that fan so very much. Although mine was pretty banged up because we had it on my desk for a bit, and then we traveled with it at least once, and then the cat knocked it off my desk. About 3 or 4 times. One of the cats. Because he kept insisting on walking back near where my surge protector was and all of my wires entangled, and let's face it, I don't have the best cable management back there. I need to get some more of those Velcro wire thingies. Those Velcro-y cable guys. They're a little bit easier to make adjustments to. I only have a couple, and they are in use elsewhere. So I really do want to get a few more of those at some point. All right. That was a little too thin in that spot. I mean, we've been kind of making do for the most part, but that was a little too much. Okay, so I need a little bit of our mustard color, I think. Don't need a whole lot. Alright, so we're gonna lay a little bit of the mustard to kind of simulate our ochre color coming in here on this one. I'm not sure if not sure how I feel about that. Like, I know he's got it in there a little bit. To be perfectly honest, I don't like it. Like, it looks better on his. I'm not feeling it though. I think we're just gonna go. I kind of like our rose here. A bit better. So I think maybe instead I just kind of keep that going. Kind of like that a little bit better. Yeah. That just looks better to me. I know some people might disagree. Maybe if I'd gone a little bit more wispy and thinner on the mustard, but it just didn't quite sit right. And you know what? It's your piece. You can make the grass pink for all I care. I mean, hell, maybe pink grass would look good. Definitely give it a bit more whimsy. Pink grass, purple mountains. Whatever is gonna make you happy, then that's what you should do. Because as Bob has repeatedly, and I do mean repeatedly, drilled into our heads, this is our world. And we can shape it, colorize it, depict it any way we want to. So, that is what we are trying to do. I'm gonna go a little bit more on this section. Before we add in our next bit of dark green here. So we'll get this popped into here. Missed a spot. Just trying to get this filled in down here on the very bottom edge. And it was just like, no. What we're not doing is that. All right. Just cover up that section there. And I know this one didn't come all the way up. That's fine. Doesn't need to. Maybe that shadowy, darky area just cuts off there. That's fine. Alright. So we're going to get a bit more of our darker green. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to paint next week. I don't know. I actually kind of have an idea. For one thing. We might do that. We might very well do that. We might do an abstract fishy guy. I have this metal fish that we picked up. And I didn't know that he was a tea light holder, or even like one of those battery operated tea light holders at first. until we got him home. And we realized that one of the fins opens up and you can get inside of it. So now I use them as my incense fish because the tea lights I have don't fit. They're a little too big. And now he's my incense fish. It was probably meant for like the battery operated ones, but I don't care. So we might try to do an abstract rendition of that guy. Just maybe. It's that or we try to repaint another one of our oil paintings in acrylic, and I do want to do a couple more of those. But it doesn't want to pull up easily in one direction. Stop and try to pull it up from a different direction. It'll save you some heartache in the end. There. And we'll get this guy. I know you can see some specks of our dark gray showing through on the green, but I don't know that that's really a problem. It kind of feels like bits of dirt. Maybe some sandy bits. I think I'm okay with that. Okay, so I need some more of that green. Didn't quite get enough. Actually, that hunter green looks very dark now that we've got these other colors in. So not a totally bad thing. I still think I probably missed an opportunity in not doing them the navy blue, but I didn't really think about it till after I had gotten started. So I have like a midnight blue that's pretty dark. Now here's the question. Do we want to add in another little bit of dark green? Or do we just kind of finish out with our forest green? Kind of leaning towards just finishing out this section in the forest green here. Alright, so just kind of stab this in place. Try to. Usually pretty good about snapping into place. Alright. That's a little too much gray poking through for me, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more. I know the gray poking through is probably not getting picked up on the camera. Let me see if I can refocus this. Okay. I don't know if that really helped a whole lot, but alright, now I'm not sure what all was supposed to be down here at the bottom. I don't remember. I don't know if we saw. I might have gotten too carried away with bringing our grass down. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, let us go back to our tutorial. Alright, so I'm gonna hit play on that and we'll see. Because he didn't bring it all the way down to the edge and all of that, I just realized. So we might have to cover up some of this that we've done. Uh-oh. He's talking about getting crazy. Uh-oh. Oh no. Bob. Now I kind of wish I had done those trees in the back blue. Okay, so we're gonna add some... Bob. It's a squirrel. Oh. He's taking that across the entire bottom? Really? Okay. But what's going at the very, very bottom? Yeah, I don't know if I can do that, Bob. It's just gonna look like really weirdly placed white. Okay, so he's got this dark section still here at the bottom. Bob, I really want to see what you're doing with the... You gonna add more grass? No, he's highlighting that tree. I might do a different tree. Oh. He adds more grass. Don't tell me you're gonna add water at the very bottom. Bob. What is that? Okay, so he added like some pathway, I guess. Ugh. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do all that. Oof. Um. Okay. Like a birch tree? Oh gosh, and then he stops there. Oh my, okay. Um, okay. Ours looks very different. Ours looks very different. That's my own fault for taking that all the way down, but I wasn't sure how far he was going with that. I don't know, man. So I guess that could be one of our taller guys. So ours is going to be a bit different, okay? Don't come for me. These are for inspirational purposes. Sometimes we can follow along better than others. This is going to be one of the more difficult ones just because of how intricate it is. So I'm just kind of giving myself some ground to work with here for where I want these guys to come into play here. Alright, so we'll get this guy. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do those two zigzaggy trees that he did in. I have a hard time doing them when we did the 8x10 stuff. Doing it on this side is incredibly difficult for me. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do those two. So this guy. Start to work in this next row. And I want to remember that I need to keep some spacing. In places, but I don't want them too far apart either. Okay. Work on getting this next row of sticky trees in. Kind of like how we do the teardrop trees. Basically the same thing. little difficult getting these guys in here. Just because of their sizing. Should probably start on the bottom. So they don't get too short. I'm gonna gently pop that up. Okay. So just getting another bit of our hunter green fluff. And we're gonna make our next tree guy. Next couple tree guys. Whoop. Cut, then move. So this is how I used to do the teardrop trees. And I could get them shaped a little bit better. Those are also a little bit easier to do. A little bit bigger. I feel like we might have had a little bit more control when we had the little tail guy. Because, like, I want a little bit of air between each one so that we can see this little valley that it's kind of enclosing around. And this guy, get another little baby one in there. Maybe. His trees are a little bit closer together. And it's okay that ours aren't that close. Still kind of getting the point across that there's something else sitting back there. Right, so we are get another little fluffy snake going here. So this guy, let's bring his height up a little bit. Kind of hard to see his full height. He's kind of hitting the trees above him. Okay. And we'll get this next one in here. So he took this like all the way across. Seems, yeah, for the most part. So, because his is a bit different than ours, I might omit those one set of trees altogether. So I think I might leave like a little bit of ground in there and then put the dirt. I think we're gonna have to modify ours just a little bit. That's okay. Like I said, doesn't need to look exactly like his. He's just kind of giving us an idea and then is teaching us how to execute that idea. And it really shouldn't be an exact copy. And honestly, with me involved, it's never really gonna be. Just for how I interpret things. I mean, I can try to get close. Sometimes it's closer than others. Most of the time, it's not very close at all. I don't always need the water to get the little fluffy snakes going. Trim that piece there. Alright, so I think I'm gonna try to get one more of these guys in here. I mean, the frame's gonna cut part of it off anyhow. So I don't need to go too crazy there. Just gonna tuck the tail up into the bottom of our tree line. Okay. Now, let me put this back into its bag. Okay. So we're gonna need to modify this a little bit. Alright, so we're gonna grab some of our coffee bean. It's kind of like mid-range brown. And I'm gonna figure out where we want our little bit of a dirt ridge here. I'm gonna bring my dirt ridge down a little bit closer to the bottom here. And I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker. Now he's got that like boulder behind the tree there. Don't know that I can really pull that off. It kind of looks like he used Van Dyke Brown on the tree. And on the boulder. Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of work this in here. Don't know how much of this section is going to be visible. Right? Because we've got frame. Oh gosh, not very much, huh? Alright, I might have to make that a little bit more exaggerated. Just a little. It's gonna be just barely peeking up. Alright, I do want to make sure that this is attached. So I'm going to give it a little extra stabbing here. Hold on one second. Sorry, like I said, for anybody that's new here, our phone reads out who's calling. We did not realize it did that at first. We'd originally gotten it because our other handset died, and that one had a much easier to use intercom feature in case my mom needed something. And we grabbed this one because it said it had an intercom feature, except the intercom feature on this one is a lot more of a struggle bus to use. And it was just like too many steps for her. I don't even remember how to use it anymore. So then come to find out, it tells you who's calling. Like, whatever the caller ID comes up. So if it's somebody's name, it reads it out loud. Butchered because it's an AI voice and doesn't know how to pronounce things. But it'll say a city, it'll say a name. Sometimes it tries to read out the phone number if that's what's in the caller ID. I'm like, could we stop? Like, I didn't sign up for this. And at least two people that tend to call here a lot, it reads out their names. So I was like, no, no, we don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be giving out people's last names that didn't agree to it. Let's not be doing that. So I do try to mute it when I realize it. I don't want to felt through the tape because then the tape's gonna become one with our project. Alright. Do I need to exaggerate this a little bit more for the sake of the frame? Might be okay. Oh. Okay, so I need maybe just a little bit more over here. Just a little. Alright, I just wanted that to be a bit more visible. Alright, so I'm gonna need to get a highlighty color. Just trying to make sure that that's all good and stabbed into there as much as that can be. Okay, I put that color away. Really? Okay, let's report that. Because is it really a stream if we don't have at least one ban? I don't know. I mean, they were already gone before Moobot timed them out anyway, but... Okay, we need a little bit of a, what are these? Soft fudge and camel. These colors are very close. Soft fudge is just a little bit darker. Okay. So I'm gonna grab some camel. And I'm gonna kind of spread that out a bit. And then try to stab in all the little hairy bits here. I'm not going to need to add too much of this because not that much of it's even really going to be visible. Just kind of pop a little bit of highlight on there. And then this guy is gonna sit like right there. All right. So yes, a bit different than Bob, but that's the way it goes sometimes. All right, I need my dark brown. We have so many colors of yarn. Is it enough? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe enough for now. Okay. So this guy, he digs all the way up. Not sure if that is necessarily wide enough. I guess it depends, really. Get this guy. Worked into here. Our tree's a little crooked. That's okay. Better than an overly straight tree. Like the overly straight trees just look kind of spooky. Alright, I'm not sure if he's quite wide enough. It might be. Now he took some white to this guy, so it's some kind of like either really, really old tree or it's kind of like a birchy tree. So I need this, oh, like, I don't need it super, super thin, but I need it thin. He kind of just went over, like, the one edge of it, it looked like. Could be wrong about that. Yeah, it's like the one side. Predominantly got the bit of white on it. If you come in at an angle, you can kind of move your fluff around at times. A little bit. You kind of walk it. Into position there. Wanted to thicken that up just a little bit. Looks really strange with the white on the one side of it, but all right. So he did add some branchy guys on this at the very, very end. So let me see if I can get to that. Can't really get a good look at it, but kind of strange because it's kind of got them like hanging down instead of like pointing up. All right. So then we're just gonna be working our way through this guy. Adding these little branchy friends in here. Not sure how well we're really able to see them, but we're putting them in. Some of my branches are a bit longer than the others. That's okay. Happens. Right. Not sure how far down I have to come with our tree branches here. This kind of feels a little too dark white on there. I mean, that's what he did with the tree. And I think it would have been a little too empty if we had tried to omit that, like this guy. Alrighty. So, I mean, that's not so bad. I think it looks a little strange, but that's what Bob did. So that's what we did. Alright. Now I'm not gonna do the other big tree that he had hanging out over there. I think, though, what I am gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit more of this really dark brown. Bless you. And I think what I want to do is kind of come up right here. Just kind of put this on the edge of our grass dirt pathway. It just feels like it needed a little bit of a darker shadow or something in there. Needed a little something. That's better. Gives it a little more separation, I think. And it gives it a little bit more of a defined, like, pathway space. Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better. Okay. So, go ahead and put that fluff back in its bag. And we're gonna pull the tape off here next. So let me, oh, I forgot I had this up. Put that in its bag. Okay, so we kind of have to do like a mini reset here. Not really a mini reset, but I need to clear some space. Okay. We're gonna need a little bit more water for this next part, because we're gonna get into making our frame here in just a minute. So we're all done with the mat. Mat can go to the side. And I need to unplug that, and we're gonna plug in the glue gun here. All right. We're gonna tell ourselves, we're plugging in the glue gun now. The glue gun is hot. Okay? Hot potato. Okay. I need my glue cup. Because we do a 2 glue combination. So we do tacky glue and hot glue. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove our tape. Forgot. I need my, nope, you need to stand up. Thank you. Right, so we need to get our razor here. And because all of the fiber that we stab into our felt can get pretty thick, and my craft sticks are pretty thin, we're gonna give the back of this guy a haircut to help everything fit together a little bit better. Oh, missed a piece of tape. And it'll also help it adhere to the backing a little bit better. I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure on this. I do need this to be as flat as we can get it. I think I need to get a new razor soon. We've been using this same one for quite a while now. It's probably getting a little bit dull. Alright. That feels a little bit better. Okay, so now as you can see, a little misshapen. This is our base shape. So I'm gonna line this guy up. As best as I can. This side's a little bit... Okay, bottom's pretty good. Okay. So, I'm gonna come in with our scissor friends here. Trying to make sure I'm straight. And I'm gonna come right up against the edge of our square. Probably be a little bit easier if I had some longer scissors for this part. So now I'd have less cuts happening. But that's okay. We're making do with what we got. Alright. Okay. So there's our edges. We've been de-edged. Okay. So there's our little magnet guy. And he'll get tucked into his little frame here. He still looks a little thick. The frame might float a little bit, but that's a problem for me in a few minutes. Right? Current me has done all they can. Okay. Let's put that guy there. We're gonna grab our handy dandy container lid. And we're gonna grab all of our components for our frame. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Got all of those guys. Nobody walked away on me. Our backing, I need Sharpie. Don't know which side I am using yet. So I'm going to sign both sides. So signature and a little flamingo-y foot. Sometimes it comes out better than others. I might use this side. I like that one better. Okay. Paint. So we're using our acrylic craft paint here in dark chocolate. That's been our frame color of choice for this project. Sorry, I was seeing if there was a different brush I wanted. Not really. Now, for the magnets, I don't seal the frame, because that's going to be just a whole level of no that I don't want to deal with. They're magnets. They should be kept indoors. A, they're fuzzy. B, they're glued together. Indoor use only on these guys, okay? Well, I wonder if I need to put that disclaimer on the eBay store. I probably should to cover my own ass. I mean, common sense, you would think, oh yeah, just put it on your fridge. But, you know, there's people out there. Now, I am painting both sides of the backing. I know that might seem silly if I'm only going to use the one side, but sometimes I don't make up my mind of which side I want to use till after I see how the paint dried. I'm not gessoing these. They're a little thirsty, but they're not overly thirsty, so it still looks close to the color that we started out with as it dries, so. Alright. Yeah, just making sure that the glue gun was on high. Okay. So I'm just doing like quick, scrubby motions, getting this paint in here. Like, I don't really mind seeing the wood grain through the paint. Probably need to wash this lid this week. Got quite a bit of paint buildup going on this guy. It's okay, I need to clean the one from yesterday too. I was gonna clean it yesterday and then I was like, I'll just wait till it's dry. And then I will peel off what I can. Like the thicker puddles are easier to pop right off. Alright. So we'll get this guy. And these dries fairly quickly. With the craft paint going in here. See, like this side's pretty much dry already. Okay, so I'm gonna set you to the side. And now you'll see why we have this big splotch of brown all over the place. Because I use this as our base. Our scrap paper, if you will, our renewable scrap paper. Right, because I can just wash this paint off. And then we'll have a new Fresh piece here, ready to go. This is a little bit time consuming. Not as much time consuming as it is to actually make the piece, like the needle felted part. And technically, I probably could wait till we put it together to paint it. But I feel like it's just easier to paint the majority of it now and then come back and touch it up when we're done. The touch up doesn't usually take as much paint. 1 second. All kinds of spam calls this morning. Okay. Get the next one done. So I already have the back of the magnet painted and pretty much dry. And now we're just gonna work on getting our frame painted. Felt like a car door slammed. I don't know why. Okay. Oh, we got our magnet piece kind of pushed off the side. That's okay. He can hang out there while we are messing with the paint. It's probably safer over there, in all honesty. Furthest away from the paint, the better. So these are actually like drink stirring sticks. I grabbed them because they were thin. There was actually a different one I wanted that was like a square craft stick, but I was having trouble finding them. And then I wasn't sure I was going to be able to cut them with my scissors because they're a little bit thicker. The actual, like, squared off craft sticks. So, get the edges done. I'm just doing like a quick scrubby scrub with our paint here. Okay. This isn't a bad color. I think for the next series, I might change it up and make more colorful frames, maybe, but I don't know. Dark brown might be the better way to go with these. In the end. I just don't want them to touch each other while they are drying. Easier said than done. All right. Okay. And last one. Yeah, I put out way too much paint, as always. Especially since that's probably going to be dry by the time I need to touch up our frame. I thought I had put out a little too much. Could have left myself a little bit more of a handle there too. All right. So I'm going to rinse that. Actually, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I feel like we're a little close now for this part. Okay. So I'm just gonna rinse the brown out of that brush as best as I can. Okay. Now, need pencil. Okay. This guy's not... Actually, he might have been dry. I don't know why he's shiny there. Okay. So, our ruler here. He's supposed to be 3 inches. He's a little short. If we start at the 0. I was gonna use the ruler today, but long sides. Right? So this guy's gonna sit here. All right, we'll see how that piece measures out. And if that one looks good, then we'll measure its matching side. To that. That's a little crooked. I don't know where that went. I closed my eyes. All right. That might end up being the short side again. Okay, so if I've got you there, stop moving. Slightly short. Don't know. What's wrong?
Yeah, I thought it might have been meaning to get in trouble or something, but she's not up there.
I didn't hear it. Ollie likes the meow for the sake of meowing. That might be okay. All right, so it's okay, those guys are pretty. Oh, no, you're not pretty close at all, are you? Like, those guys are good. These guys are not good. Okay, so I guess if we're gonna be weird on one side, maybe be weird on both. Okay. So you're going to sit there. you approximately there. Okay. I have more of these, so if I royally mess up, I can go dig some more out. Just means that we will need to repaint them. Okay. Get some tacky glue on out of the bottle. So this is predominantly hot glue. But the tacky helps hold it together. A little bit. Not as much as I would like it to, but alright, so I'm just gonna kind of try to hold that in place for a minute. Don't know if that's really going to do anything, but you never know. Alright, so I'm going to see about doing the longs, or one of the long sides. Next. You okay?
Uh-huh.
So that like seeped into the seam a little bit, and the side tried to pop off there, so that's why I was kind of quickly trying to reposition. Seemed to be okay enough. In that spot. So we're gonna get our other short, short side. Let's see. It's not short by much, but pretty sure this is our other short piece. Okay. That's a little toasty. Alright. We're gonna load up this side. Hopefully without making too much of a mess. Okay. Not too bad of a measuring job on that one. We're pretty good in there. Alright, let me get a hot glue here. Way too much hot glue. I got a little tiny gap there, but all in all, not bad. We've had worser glue attempts, I'll put it that way. Alright, let me rinse out my glue brush here, because it's going to be a minute before we get back to him. Okay, now, actually I still did kind of need that, but Kind of letting everybody here set up for a minute. Okay. I'm going to need our binder clips here. Because the next bit, excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next bit, we're going to need them as sort of like our C-clamps. Kinda. Just clampy guys. Just making sure that these guys want to open as far as I need them to. Some of them are real fussy about opening wide enough to fit. So I'm just going to take our tacky glue now. And run some lines of it. Over our base here. Okay, now we're going to come back with our glue brush. And we are going to smear that all over. Could we do this part with hot glue? We could. But I don't trust the hot glue alone to hold this in place. And since it's being contained, I just feel like the tacky glue is better for this job. That's also why we trimmed our side or our back down so that it would sit a little bit better in here, because they can get pretty thick. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I thought that was my water cup. Expecting the water cup. I'm like, why is this so thick? Oh. That would be why. Yeah. And this brush I've just been putting through the wringer. It's the same glue brush I'm using on the tissue paper project. I should probably be using a bigger brush, considering the size of the canvas. But I don't want to work in large sections anyhow. Okay, so we are going to pop this guy in. Oh, he's thick. Uh-oh. He's pretty thick. Our frame might be floating a little bit on this one side. So I'm just taking one of our scrap bits, just kind of carefully tucking in our side out, hopefully without popping our frame. If the frame has been attached enough, we should be good, although there it's wanting to be a little being a little fussy. That got a little messy. See if we can fix that a little bit better. Sometimes I will do this before I glue the piece in place. And like try to fill in the corners. I think next time I try to get more of these squares. I'm gonna need to try to get some squared off squares. Because these squares, the edges, were rounded off. And that adds another element that I am fighting against here. Okay. That's a little excessively loud there, friends. My house is vibrating. Could we not? Okay. So there's our base magnet. All right. So now there's that one. And then this side. So about there on those guys. Okay, so these guys are going to sit there. Nope, don't shift. Please. Okay. And then you are going to sit pretty much there. So there. And there. In theory. In theory. Okay. Let's start with this guy. I think I'm cutting outside the line. Yes. Outside the line. I'm not too worried about the pencil mark because we'll clean that up. Soon enough. All right. Okay. All right. Pretty good there. That was a good measure. Who's my other long friend here? Are you the other long one? I don't know if you're the other long one. No. Oh, these are all different. Oh. Alright, well. That looks like it's measured, right? Okay. Outside edge of the pencil line. Outside edge. Of the pencil line. Please don't go rolling into the paint. Okay. Alright. Those two measured fine, so I'm gonna attach those two. Now I'm going to put the pencil side down, even though I kind of feel like pencil side is painted a little bit better, but we're gonna retouch the paint anyway. Now, this is the tricky part, right? Because trying to pop these on can sometimes shift its positioning. I've got fuzz and glue strings all over my fingers. That's not helping. So yeah, that's not helping matters. Okay. This guy I have to be careful with. Because that corner was being stubborn about life.
Okay.
I don't know where it went.
What was it?
A binder clip? It flew up in the air, but I never heard it hit the ground. And I don't see it. Dangerous over here. Where the hell did it go? It had to have gone backwards. Where'd it go, Zuzu? I didn't hear it hit anything after it bounced up. I actually thought it was gonna hit the monitor. Hmm. And I panicked and closed my eyes because I didn't know where it was gonna go. Oh, that might be it. Although that one looks like it's been there a while, so I don't know if that's it or not. It's the same color. Oh wow, I've got a bunch of tissue paper on the floor down here I didn't know about. I guess that has to be it. Oh, wait, what's this? Ow. You know what? This is probably it. If it's not, it's gonna be now. Because, really? That one's just like, nope, I'm out. That one I heard hit the floor. I think it's over by the husband. Because I know I heard it hit the floor. Alright. Well, that one's definitely boycotting this. Okay. Alrighty, so these guys outside of the line. Alright, and we're gonna do a careful cut there. And a careful cut there. Okay, I'm gonna remove. Oh, yeah, see? That's the trouble. With these binder clips sometimes. They get funny. Or they're like a little too tight. You are just a smidge. Or are you the wrong side? You might be this side. Yeah, this corner here has been a problem. Okay, you are ever so slightly. Oh, come on. You're really gonna... Okay, so be kind, glue gun. So let's see if I can remelt that glue on the back without dripping anything on myself. Okay. That might have worked. Maybe. You still might be ever so slightly. You're like a hair's breadth That's snug. But I think we can work with that. Alright. Alright. So this section, I prefer to do the tacky glue on, because if nothing else, it will at least adhere to the fuzz of the magnet a lot better than the hot glue. And at worst, it shouldn't have too much seepage to burn myself with, if it comes to it. Just gonna wipe down the edges. Clean that up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't twist that after we just fixed it again. I think we'll be okay though. I think it'll hold. I can take that one off. Okay, this edge is being a little fussy. So, look, I'm not squeezing this. There was a little bit of a drip. On the edge there. And I've got a little bit of glue on this corner. And I've got like the nozzle flush up on it. So that whatever does decide to drip out of there, this looked a little messy. So I just wanted to make sure we were still somewhat clean there. And that one, friends, is a little short. Dang it. Seriously? Can't win here today. Wonder if I did have these on the wrong sides. I might have. think I was gonna check that and got distracted. Don't really have don't really have a little piece to stick in there. Just trying to clean up the edge there a little bit. Kind of want to put one on that corner, but at the same time, I'm a little afraid it might completely adhere to the corner. The tacky glue doesn't take too long to set up. I'm going to grab a little tiny paintbrush guy. And I am going to touch this up. Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry.
Do I need to mute?
Yeah, sure.
There. So just gonna work on touching up our frame here. This gives us a chance to clean up any glue overspill and any of the edges that we trimmed that didn't get painted. So we need to be careful. That my wobbly ass hands don't get wiggly at the wrong moment. Very nerve-wracking for me is this part. Because I can't really fix it if something goes wrong at this point.
Mute.
Hold on 1 second. There. So this corner is probably going to be a little funky. Did the best I could with it. Alright, gonna release those guys. Well, these are definitely handmade. So there's gonna be, you know, some wonkiness here and there with the frames. I can't help that. We don't do too bad of a job considering that I don't have like a huge woodworking setup. That corner, I don't think anything I do is really gonna help that corner, but we've done what we can. Actually making pretty good time wrapping this guy up today. I mean, of course, if I had started on time, I'd be all sorts of struggling and rushing to try to get done. So we actually managed to see a little bit more of the pathway than I expected to. So that's good. Sorry, I've got a little bits of hot glue stuck to my fingers. Okay. Not bad, all things considered. Doesn't quite look like Bob's, but close enough, right? The idea is there. Me put the lid on that guy. Okay, so got my little handle here. So I'm gonna zoom back in on this guy so we can get a better view on him. Okay. Still looks kind of far out, but alright, I need the glue of doom. And our Maggies here. Put them in there. Separate corners there. Oh. Make sure I don't have any wet paints or anything here. Alright, we're gonna flip this guy over. Make sure I don't have too much crap stuck to my fingers. Okay. One drop. No more. That's probably a bit much. Alright, so we're gonna leave that there for like 30 to 45 seconds. Okay, it's still a little wet there. Just want to make sure that we don't get our fingers in that. It was a little much. It was a big drop. No, don't go sliding all over. Ah, glue on that one now. It tried to stick to my finger. Like, that's not good. Yeah, I got way too much on that one. So I'm not gonna sit this down. On the desk just so it doesn't glue itself. But there we go. There's today's poorly in focus. There we are. Magnet guy. Why does it do that whenever I go to manual? Come on. Oh gosh, nope. Manual, it just doesn't want to focus on it. Okay. Well, that's fine then. Alright, so yeah, there's our magnet guy. Next week we'll be starting another one. So this was magnet number 9 from this tutorial series. Number 10. Number 10 is called Balmy Beach. Sorry, YouTube. Your ad on Bob's channel is not going to do me any good. And you wouldn't let me skip, yeah. Okay. Oh. Well. This is gonna be an interesting one. So, he made it in a seashell shape, but he was just having too much fun with contact paper. Ours will be square. I don't know how the ocean one is gonna go with it being so small. We'll try. We'll try. It's gonna be a challenge. I might have to do it a little differently. We'll see. But that's what we'll start working on next week. That's a bad photo. Do they ever get a better shot of it? They do, but they've got all the cards and all the stuff up on top of it, so that's like about the best image of it. So it'll be Balmy Beach from season 31 is what we will start to work on next week. So I thank you guys for popping in and joining me today. Once again, here's what our guide looks like. And we'll be back tomorrow with Planet Zoo. I think we have a little bit more landscaping to do on that one station. And then I'm gonna start to do our rock tunnel. I think. That might be what we start to do there. So, we'll see how those things go. And, don't forget to follow the socially links. Those will take you to the Blue Sky, the Ko-fi, and the YouTube channel. I'll add the eBay channel in soon enough. So until next time, you guys, have a good one.